Hello creators and creative friends, welcome to this channel. Today, I want to show you a very powerful workflow. With it, you can control the camera angle and change the pose and perspective of your character or subject. And the best part is your character stays consistent throughout. Let's look at some images generated by this workflow. This will help you understand what I mean. This is the portrait I uploaded into the workflow. From this single image, I can change her pose while keeping the background consistent. I can also change both the perspective and the pose at the same time. Here is another image I uploaded into the workflow. I can even change her pose from lying down to standing up. So in practice, one image can help you create a whole portfolio with many new images, each with different camera angles and poses. Now let's move to Running Hub, and I'll walk you through the workflow step by step. Running Hub is a ComfyUI cloud platform I used to build this workflow. If you want to learn more about it, you can check the link in the video description. This is the uploaded portrait. In total, this workflow has 3 node groups. To start, let's deactivate the second and third groups and focus only on the first one. This first group is designed to generate a prompt for the Q1 edit model and the LoRa used later in the workflow. The prompt is actually made of 2 parts. The first part controls the camera angle, or in other words, the perspective. That part is generated by the Q1 multi-angle camera node. The second part is used to change a character's pose. It's generated by this Q1 3 VQA node. The Q1 multi-angle camera node gives you an interactive interface for 3D camera angle control. In the end, it outputs a prompt like this. This prompt can be divided into 4 parts. The first part is a trigger word for the LoRa in the next group. This always stays the same. The second part is an azimuth, or horizontal angle. In this example, it is front-right quarter view. The third part is the elevation, or vertical angle. Here, it is elevated shot. The last part is the distance, or zoom. In this case, it is wide shot. To customize this prompt, you have 3 options. First, you can use the 3 sliders. Second, you can use the drop-down menus. Third, you can drag the handles directly. So that covers the camera angle part of the prompt. Now let's talk about pose changes. This node can generate a pose prompt based on the uploaded image and the instructions I wrote here. In simple terms, it suggests a new pose based on the pose in the original image. You can preview the generated prompt here. At the end of this group, the prompt concat node combines these 2 parts of the prompt and sends the result to the next group. Now let's activate the other node groups and run the workflow. Alright, this is the final output image. It shows the front right quarter view with an elevated wide shot, exactly as described in the prompt. The image quality is already quite good. But here's something important. This workflow is built around the Q1 Edit 2511 model, and this multi-angle LoRa is also a key part of the result. There are a few more features in this workflow that I want to show you. First, you don't have to stick with the original aspect ratio. You can choose a different one. For example, here I set the width to 768 and the height to 1344. This isn't the final image size, but the aspect ratio matches what the final image will be. To use this empty latent image, just switch the Boolean value from true to false. Now let's rerun the workflow. Now you can see that the output image is in portrait orientation. Also, if you do not like the pose suggested by the QN3VL model, you can write your own prompt here instead. Just remember to change the select parameter from 1 to 2. Let's run the workflow. Now you can see that the pose has changed to match the description I wrote. Sometimes you may not want the background to change too much. In that case, let's first keep the original aspect ratio. If we send the combined prompt to the next group, both the camera angle and the pose will change together. But if we only want to change the camera angle, we can send just that prompt directly to the next group. Let's run the workflow. Now you can see that it becomes a wide elevated shot, but the pose stays the same. We can also keep the background unchanged, only change her face. Let's compare this with the original image. One more thing I want to mention. The image quality from the last group's output isn't always great. That's why I added a second pass in the final group. In this node, the longest side of the final output image is set to 2048. Before resizing, the image is upscaled by this model. However, sometimes upscaling can create detail issues in the final result. If that happens, you can change the input parameter from 1 to 2. And that's everything for this video. If you want to download this workflow, please join our community and support the channel. You can find the link in the video description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.